Please inform others so that we can start. With 16 minutes already gone. So from today, basically, I feel like that your syllabus is huge, but in this short semester, it is very tough to complete in detail. So I'm going to in different manner. So I have uploaded my slides and the links in YouTube. Uh, Today I will cover three topics, small topics, three small topics. The number one will be static keyword, then final keyword, and super keyword. If I have or if I get any more time, then I can continue to encapsulation also. But before starting my lecture, basically not lecture, this discussion. Before starting my discussions, I will give you some time to study on the topics within this time. So first 1 hour will be for your study. Then I will start discussion. So whatever you don't understand or not, okay? Whatever you have any questions, so that you can ask me that you have any confusion. Then we can discuss, and I will show you code how to do, and even in my slides, the code you can practice on. After my discussion, like 1 hour, then the for the next 2 hours for tutorial class, you have to practice more. Understand? So the first 1 hour, or we can manage in different ways. That's why we have the three topics. You can study 15 minutes for static keyword. Then I will discuss on that. Okay. So first 15 minutes, so that for three topics we will cover. Then you may forget to discuss what the topic you have. So uh, after completing the first one, static, then I will discuss on that. Okay. So from now on, already 9:18, I'm giving you 15 minutes time to study on static keyword slides. Okay. Then come to me. Then we will discuss so that our discussion will be more fruitful. Understand, Sufyan?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Aka?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm feeling like I'm talking too much and you are just listening and listening. I have uploaded some videos also for three topics. Very short video. So just start for static keyword. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, salam, sir.
Oh, how are you?
Fine, pretty good, thank you.
Have you completed the static keyword within this time? Oh, those who are latecomer in this class, for them from today, basically I have reorganized my class timing uh, or reorganize my learning point of view in different way. First, I have shared my slides that I have already I will cover today. That is three keywords: static, final, and super. So, so what I'm asking for that for first 15 minutes for you need to study on my slides, and I have already shared some videos, very small video clips, so that you can cover by 15 minutes just reading and viewing the video. After that, we will come on discussion. What basically you understood and what you have any confusion, so that it will be very easy to uh, like everyone to get the main points. And after that, if you uh, ask me to do any explanation, I will show you in my code so that you can see the code, as well as I already shared the sample code also in my slides so that you can practice on that. So after my discussion for all three topics, and you will have to practice on for tutorial session. So basically for the first 2 hours will be half of first 2 hours. That means 1 hour for your study and 1 hour for discussion, then 2 hours for practice, so that you will know firmly. Understand? Chahiyo, Askal, Pika.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so I have already given 15 minutes time for static keyword, and maybe who already joined the class early, they have completed, isn't it? Juberi, Sufyan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm just showing my slides so that you can ask any questions if you have any confusions, or you can share your experience that what you have learned. Okay. Uh, so I am sharing my semi slides. Uh, uh, uh. I will share the entire screen so that when we'll go for code, that will be visible also. Okay. But before proceeding, can you share your experience, what you have understood or not? Any confusion? Anyone? Do you have any confusion? Then can talk. Otherwise, don't need. I will ask question then for discussion. Shirajun Nabi,
Yes, sir, sir.
have you understood the static keyword?
Yes, sir, I have learned some during these 15 minutes.
Okay. So do you have any confusion?
No, sir, it's okay for me.
Okay. So how many ways static keyword can be used in object-oriented paradigm?
It's three ways, sir.
Please tell those ways.
It's like static variable, static method, and static blocks. So basically, we use this static keywords is for only the memory manage,
Mhm.
and then also we use this one like programming more efficient by saving memory.
Oh, great. That means we already seen in our slide that we have two types of memory grossly. One is heap memory, another was the class memory or class loading memory is called. So all the can we explain, Golam, the what is for used for heap memory and what is for class memory? Please unmute your microphone.
Uh, can you repeat your question again, sir?
The question is for memory management. Shirajan Nabi told us that okay, the static keyword is used for uh, memory management, the best way of manage. So there are two types of grossly two types, three more than that. Okay, but two types I'm telling about. The one is heap memory, another is a class memory. So what is the purpose of the heap memory and the class memory?
Basically for heap memory, where they can exact locate the memory. You means that how many byte they located. They specify the in heap memory, and the stack memory is just for location where we put it our data. It's just for my understanding, something like this.
Okay. Okay, Juberi, do you have any confusion or things okay, the memory for the heap memory and the stack memory?
I'm a little bit confusion here because I
Hmm?
cannot really understand what this stack memory is for heap memory for.
Oh, so the thing is, I offered you everyone that if do you have any confusion, then we can discuss on that. Otherwise, all the slides I'm just reading out in front of you. This not work properly. So, do you have any confusion that I'm asking for? So, this is our discussion time, so that we can get the maximum knowledge. Hmm? So, why not you asking, Juveri? Rather than I'm asking, like a kindergarten students. Hmm?
Sir.
So I'm offering you everyone to ask any confusion, ask question. Now you are keeping your mouth shut. What does it mean? It means like you don't want to learn, isn't it?
No, sir, no, sir.
So, Shufian,
Yes, sir.
have any question?
For now, no.
Okay. So can you explain the memory management of static keyword?
Me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Okay. What? Okay. For the object,
For the object is which one for the object?
let me see that. As far as I know, if we give an instant object, something like integer or string, something like that, and if we refer back in our object, if we create the first object, second object, that object, they can how do I say that variable will be, how do I say that, it's 4 byte, it's gonna be 8 no 8 12 byte. So if we use only static if we use static in front of the variable, and then gonna be only 4 byte will be in the memory, and that will be the class. So the class will be low first. So there's no honestly, I don't know in detail, but that's my
Okay, that means still you have confusion, isn't it?
actually I understand, but I don't know how to spell it out.
Okay, okay. So you see, there are three memory areas, but I'm discussing on two. One is heap memory, and another is class memory or class area, whatever it is called. The heap memory basically holds the objects. Each and every objects, whatever I declare, that will be stored in the heap memory. This is the main memory. Because for each and every object has its different value of the variables, hmm, for different objects. Like object, the stack memory is only for referencing, the stack memory, that how many objects I have. But actually, the object is stored all the data in the heap memory. So S1 is, this is pointing to the heap memory, that ID equal to 111, then name is to Karan. So this denotes that this is the occupies the memory in the heap for this object. Another for the ID 222, it's a different memory location in the heap memory. That means all our objects will be stored in the heap memory. But you see the class area, there is a one variable, the college called the ITS. So what is for? Why not this college variable, college value for each and every object's value is it different or the same? As it is same, that's why we don't need to waste our memory. So I just use only one time. So this is the class area. Okay. So that's why the how it is used, how to use this class area for any variable.
So we will be use static keyword.
Yeah, for the static. So when we declare a static variable, that variable value will locate in the class area, not in the heap memory. Okay. So for the variable, you see, is the string college ITS is not static yet. So thing is a roll number, the name, and the college, all the variables value will be stored in the heap memory for this example. So if we have 500 students in the college, that means 500 college ITS will be stored in the heap memory. But if I use this static keyword in front of this college variable, so that means this variable will be stored in the class area. So only not 500 objects used for this college variable value. It will be stored only one. So in this way, we can make efficient the memory management for this variable. The number two, okay, I have given an example, a nice example that I want to I want to count the number of objects is being created. Then when I initiate any object, automatically count, automatically increase the number of count. How to do? For setting the static keyword, so that the static number is for all over the objects because it's the class scope. So if I declare how many, three objects, no matter the three objects, all the objects will share the same variable, the count variable. So what I have done, you see, in my object counter constructor, you see the object counter constructor. You should have asked this question, for this slide, that I didn't understand. Two main things you didn't understand. Why it is incremented in the constructor. Another thing is I didn't declare any variable of object, but still I creating using new keyword. So this way I can also, that should be a question from you, I'm expecting, but you didn't ask. Hmm? So I will show you in the code by changing the lines how to do that. Okay. I'm not explaining now. Another is a static method. What is the purpose of a static method? Static method is also the same. It's not memory management, but you don't need to create an instance. You can still call the same method without creating any instance. Understand? You don't need to create an instance. Just call the method by denoting the class name. So that means I don't need any heap memory for that. Hmm? So the static method, if you apply the static keyword in front of method, what basically happens? It belongs to the class rather than object. That means that method will belongs to the class, not for a specific methods I'm calling about. And it can be invoked without the need for creating an instance of the class. That means you don't need any heap memory for those methods, and can access a static data member and can change the value of it through the static method. So if you have any static variable, you can use the static variable inside the static method to change the variable. Like this. There is same counter I have declared that I have created a people class, and I'm counting the head count, how many objects I have created for these two people, and I have some methods like static int get head count, and I have already explained what basically in the comments. The you see the number line number 1, the static keyword is head count is static variable, and the private int id is an instance variable, and the name of the instance variable inside the people constructor. The constructor I have used to head count plus plus. That means it's a static variable, can be accessed in instance method. That means there are two types of methods we have. One is a static method, another is instance method. Normally we have instance method, because every objects without the static, everything is instance method. That is can be accessed by object. So now see mm, 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 the head count. Get head count is a static method. Inside the static method, if I want to change the name, that means if I assign any value of the name, it will be an error. What it will say? It will tell you that instance variable cannot be accessed in the static method. That means you cannot use instance variable inside the static method. You cannot, because the static method is totally for the class scope, but the instance method, every instance will get access for the different instance. The name will be the different. So in the static method, you cannot change any instance variable. Even you cannot call any instance method. You see, I declare a date method. It's a CT error, that means compile time error. That is, instance method cannot be invoked in a static method. Understand? You cannot. It will be an error. It will not compile. Then I have declared an instance method like death. What I have done, just see what I have done. Just I want to deallocate the memory of the object, one object. That when I call this object, it will be everything will be null, and the head count will be minus minus. That means one people already dead in my pool. So if I uh, create 10 objects of people, what will be happen? The head count will be automatically 10, isn't it? Because when you create any instance of the people, the constructor will call to increment the head count. That means if you create any instance of the people, the head count will be 1. If you create another instance for the next line, it will automatically increase the head count automatically. But if you want to call the death method of any object, automatically it will be decremented. I have declared, that's why. So that you can understand, okay, the people can born and people can death. So what are the population we have now, you can easily find out in your memory that how many objects is still alive. Understand? So this is, sorry, this is the, yeah, this is the static method, and another is a static block. Do you understand the static block after reading these pages? Have you understood?
Can you, sir, going back to your slide? Okay, in here you said that in public static in head count we cannot initiate any name, so it will be show the error, compile time error, and also
Compile time error, yes,
and
because the
also
this name is instance variable. You see, the private string name is an instance variable. This is not a static variable.
so we can be used we cannot use anything inside this.
It cannot, because of the static is totally only for the global, all the for all the objects. But the instance variable is only specific objects. Each and every object has different value. If I change the name of Sufyan, if it is instance variable, how can you change others variables by by using the static method? You can use the static method for a static variable, because the static variable is global to all, for all objects.
It can be like this name equal name. Can no, it's still showing compile time error. So it
Uh,
means I need to omit these two line for name and also the date.
yeah, because these two lines are for instance variable. This first one is instance variable, second one is instance method.
Yeah.
So within the static uh, method, you cannot use instance type of things. Okay, instance variable, instance um, method, you cannot use. It will be a compile time. Your code note will be. After then, you see the people dot head count. That is static, so there is no error.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Then Jubari,
Yes, sir, I get it.
Jubari, can you explain the what is static block? Jubari, can you show your nice face, please? Jubari, can you explain what you have understood after going through this static block slides?
what I understand here, when you use this static block, it is only used to maybe to run only the class at once
Hmm.
in memory.
Yeah, that is static is already we have discussed. But why we should use the static block? What is basically block? So block is basically uh, uh, a collection of some instruction. This is called code block. Hmm? So when I put any name for this block, it can be a function. But if I omit the function name, it will be only the block, anonymous block. So if you put the anonymous block, that should be static, so that no other variables, no other objects will be indifferent for the block, because you cannot call this block through your object because there is no name. The static block, that is an anonymous block, how can you call? You cannot call. So what is the purpose of this then? If you don't, if cannot call, so why should I create this one? We can create to initialize the static variables. We can use for initiating the static variables. And for the constructor, what is the purpose of the constructor, Pika? Don't know. Naveed,
Yes, sir.
can you show your hero like face, Naveed?
Okay, sir.
No, I'm very, every day I'm telling the same, requesting the same thing, that please open your camera, but you are reluctant to open this camera. I'm really disappointing to you all. I'm really feeling, that you are not obeying my instruction. I'm really feeling disappointed that I'm expressing you now. If you don't, want to learn me, just state me that, sir, I'm not interested to come in the class. Then I can stop my teaching, or I can withdraw my, teaching ship from here. Understand, Navid? I'm really I'm trying to make you understand, so that after passing your graduation, you will not face any problem. You are so junior like my son, my children. But the thing is, but you are not, obeying. You are not, just to ignore my instruction. What for? I don't understand sometimes. I feel like I'm trying to make you understand it at my best, because I have a huge experience in industry. I know what basically the people are struggling after completing the graduation in this industry. I know. I took so many interviews from the graduates. I used to get invitation to as a interviewer. I have 22 years colorful experience in my industry. and you are very novice people, and you just ignore my request. Even who will give you the opportunity to, after the class, I'm inviting you, come to my downstairs and sit, call me, and if you have any problem, discuss with me, no problem. I can give you time because you are my students. This is my, this is your right uh, to take my from my take time from me. And I believe no teacher will offer you this type of that after the class you can come to my downstairs, and I want to give you time to make you understand, but you are not coming. It reflects that you don't want to understand, you don't want to learn. So what will be happen after passing this graduation? You are a university student, not a kindergarten student, isn't it? And from the very beginning, I'm telling you, this is the face to face, not face to face class. It is very tough to control in on online class, because there are some couple of obstacles to make you understand. Like the number one is your eye. Number one is the eye, because I can read the eyesight, how much you understand or not. From my experience, I can see, face. The face of the good people and face of the bad people is really visible. The face of the intelligent person and face of the foolish man is totally different. The eye is totally different. But you are reluctant to open your camera. Oh, that means you are maintaining your hijab. Huh? All the Jains people are maintaining the hijab. Okay, put your mask in mouth. Just open your eye. I don't want to see anything more. I told you that I'm conducting 35 students in international students. They are all industry people, senior people, Among them, 5 managers is there. And every week I'm taking 2 classes, 3 hours continuous. And they are studying like a student from me. If you want to see, obviously the Bangladeshi people, that's why I'm taking those classes in Bangla language. You will not understand my speech in that area, but you can see at least the students' response. Okay, well, the static block basically to initialize the static data member, that is static variable in a class, and it executes before constructor. I'm asking for constructor. What is the purpose of the constructor? Why we create constructors? Try to say something, whatever it is wrong or not, but try to do, so that I just want to know that how much you understood, so that I can make you understand more. Okay, but if you are like a black hole, I'm sending the message, nothing will come. So how can I know that how can I read your mind? I'm trying my level best. I'm not like a supercomputer. I'm not like Google people. I have a limitation also, but I'm trying to understand that from where I should address your knowledge, that how much you understood or not. So whenever I ask any questions, nobody is talking, like you're deaf and dumb. The constructor basically,
For my
yeah,
opinion,
well,
constructor and method may be similarly, but the things is constructor. Uh, in our program, we use like variety type of class. So if like same type of name we class if we use in our program, so in here we call this one is constructor. For method, basically we are not use the same class name. For same class name, we call constructor, and the method is different class name. That's my understanding.
okay, that is the naming convention. Not more than that. This is only the naming convention. That the constructor name is must you have to have the same class name. That is the naming convention. But what is in behind that? Okay, feel like I have a different programming language. That language is can be a different constructor name policy. Like if I put any like uh, public constructor, then you can put any name so that I can see, okay, this method is for constructor because the constructor keyword is used. You can have some programming language like that. So before any method, you can just put a constructor keyword. It will be a constructor then. But I'm asking for what is the purpose of the constructor so that you understand basically why it is used.
Initialized data.
Initialize which data?
Object.
Object.
Yeah, that is initialization. The object is initialized, but the initialization is data. Okay,
Static.
that data is not only static. Instance variable also be initialized in the constructor. But when it is called, when the constructor called, invoked, when Jaidan.
I think for the static block is the class, so he
No,
will call the.
I'm asking for the constructor, not a static block now. Okay, my last question is for constructor.
So did you ask when the constructors invoked, right?
Yeah, after in between the discussion going on for the static block, but I'm asking now what is the purpose and when the constructor is being called, it is being invoked.
Well, for my understanding point, like
Hmm.
uh, the constructor, the constructor's purpose is to initialize the object, and then it's actually called during the initiation of the class. Like after the class created, at least there is one constructor created, right? So the constructor is called during the class created. So after it's created, and then the constructor is called, the memory for the object will be allocated in the memory. Is that
Okay, I'm just rectifying some words for you
right?
that when class is created is not constructor called. When your class an object is instantiated, like instantiate means it will be occur when you want to create an instance of that class. That means we are called the object. When we create an object, How to create? By new keyword with a constructor name. New keyword with constructor name. That's when after new, the class name with brackets. That is not class. Basically, this is the constructor. So that's why when you declare any variable of that class, it will not create any instance. But when you use the new keyword with the constructor method, that is being called within the new keyword. That means now the object is going to the heap memory. Understand? So each and every object, when is instantiated, the constructor will be called by default. You must have to call the constructor when you want to create any instance, any object. But the static block is an anonymous name. It's an anonymous name of the method. Like the block, the code blocks is some instructions inside the like this one. Okay, this is static. The bracket open and close, the curly brace. You see, within the bracket, I can put so many things. That means the all the instruction I have given. So how it will be called? If the constructor, if I want to create any object of this class, and how can I call this block using dot method? The object dot there's no name. So how to call? How to invoke this block? You cannot using this one. That's why the static block is a class scope. When the class will load, automatically it will be called. Automatically. And now when it will be called? After constructor or before constructor? The code block will be run after constructor or default constructor.
It's before construct.
Like
After.
if I use I have created the people class like head count. I have done it, okay, and I have one static block, and that block I have already used the initialization for this one, okay. For initialization, you can initialize what you can initialize your static variable. You can initialize using a static block. Even you can put some instruction like I just put it a print ln so that I can see that it's called, okay. So what I should do, just I want to use this, okay. Here people like Eka. If I people like Eka, what will be happen if I run it? Welcome is nothing is happened because it's already declared. But if I go for instantiation, then like Eka equal to new people, say new people, what will be happen? The people constructor I have, one is default constructor, another is parameterized constructor. So if I call the parameterized constructor by providing value and name like Eka, what will be happen? Which statement will do first? Feel like I want to just show
Oh,
this one so that you can just call like param const constructor. Okay. So what will be happen if I run this one?
It will be print the param constructor.
First, you see, I just declare a variable like I just instance. So which one? That means the param constructor you're calling this first one will be called, okay?
Yes.
And if this constructor will be called or not?
I think after parameter constructor, he will be called.
Okay,
Yes.
the first one will be a parameter constructor. Then
Then the default constructor.
and the default constructor. How it will be called then? From which line? Because I'm calling this, you see, if I click this one, okay, it shows this. It's denoting this. So how to call this one? The default constructor. Hmm? Anyone? Let's see who understood.
To call the default constructor, you could just simply put the construction without the parameters. It can be like that, right?
Thing is, I'm just calling this constructor. You see, I'm calling this constructor. That when I click this one, it will go to the which
Yeah,
method is called.
yeah,
Okay,
because it has the
but
parameters. If you remove it, it will be.
which one? I don't understand. Line number?
No, you said that if you choose the line number 13 in the.
Yeah, this one. I want to call this one. How to? Even both this one and this one at the same time. How to do?
We need to use this. Uh,
Yeah, line number.
I see that for default constructor, we need to use this
Hmm.
for the people.
Yeah, people. Okay, the
This
people
people.
I have two constructors. Huh? You see, I have two constructors, and I'm calling
Yeah, you
the
already called
parameters
parameter
constructor.
constructor is aka equal to new people. This is for parameterized constructor. For
Yeah,
default
but
constructor,
I want to call this one also so that a new baby born.
so can we use this people?
Okay, how to, when, where?
Line number 19.
Yeah, line number 19. Already done. I've already done. Just you have to see. You see the line number 19. I have already declared. So which one come first? Parameter constructor or a new baby born?
New baby born.
Hmm?
A new baby born first.
Okay, the new baby born, then this one. After that, nothing. I have a static block also. I have two static block. One is before constructor and another is after constructor. And I'm showing you the static one and the static two. So what will be the output if I run this? Because I just only declare a variable, nothing else, like an object, nothing else. I didn't do anything. Just now I want to run it.
The output will be study one first, study two second. After that, the other constructor will follow by that.
Great. Great. That is the main point. Okay. Just run it. You see. First the welcome, because the welcome is always from the main method. I have declared the welcome. And after that, the static block one first. Within the static block, I have init like the uh, uh, what is called the head count already initialized by 0, and after that the static 2 is called this method, because the object constructor will be called when it will be going for instantiation, but before instantiation the class will be loaded first. So when the class will be loaded, automatically the method the static block will be called. So understand?
Sir,
Hmm.
uh,
Sorry,
more
Chahiyo. Chahiyo, Chahiyo lost maybe. So we have covered already static variable, static method, and all together I just put this method for your practice so that you can do that. Okay. So what basically just I want to show you by calling other methods. Just I want to, when I just declare an instance, I just create an instance. I want to see the what is the head count. The how many object is created. So what I need just a head count. I want to see this line number 29. You see it will return the integer value, the number of head count. That means how many people created. So I have already create only one. So if I want to see how to call this static method, get head count. hmm, Total population. Okay, this total population. How to call this method? Anyone? Eka dot. If I put eka dot, there is no method visible. Get a head count is not visible. See, there is no head. But but a head count is, if I call this one, you see, it's a message is there. Hmm? See, the static method head count from the type people should be accessed in a static way. So what should be? It should be using this one. People dot head count. So if I run it, you see that how many will be the head count, total population will be, it's only one. So if I declare another variable, how to do? Another variable, okay, where is another variable? Uh, Ika, CA, okay, and the ID is 2 maybe, or 10102, and this one 101, okay. If I run these two variable, nothing else, I just create a new baby. Two babies I have created. That means in my memory, I will have total population will be 2, isn't it? You see, the total population is 2. If I like eka dot death, sorry for aka, I'm just want to destroy from your memory. How many population will be there now? You see one now. How to do?
How to do what, sir?
How to do what I have done? Do you understand?
Yes.
Hmm?
Because you kill me, that's why the head count is one.
Oh, no, I don't want to kill you because I just make you sleep. Okay, I'm just want to make you sleep. Don't dead.
Yeah, because you make the method for that. Oh, now
Okay.
it's sleep.
Sorry for Eka for sleep. So now Eka is in sleeping now. Eka wake up one time, but after Pika wake up, the Eka is going to sleep. So total number of population is now only one. So in this way, you
What is the
can
difference between date and sleep then?
sorry.
What is the difference between date and sleep?
Or I'm just I just put the name only, nothing else to make you understand. Okay, the how to reduce the head count. The static head count is a static variable. So when I just create an instance, automatically head count will be increased. Hmm? Even you see, even I after this one, if I create again one another like this one after this, if I create another one, okay, or golem 3, then I want to call it again to see what basically the ultimate number of population. How many will be there still alive?
For the first total population is 1,
Then
and then second is 2, because you
is 2.
created golem.
Then so if I call this here also, so what will be happen for the first call? This is the first call. Total AWAK awake the number 1. Okay, so I'm calling total this is calling 2. It's calling 2 means like I'm just called 2 times. This is AWAKE is 3, number 3. Okay, then how many um, people is still alive, is still awake? How many?
The first two,
First one 2, then
second one is one,
second one 1, and third one
two.
yeah, that means the current value will be 2, last one. Okay, see, yeah, 2. So if you want to do the same thing like the for the this is the head count is only for class scope. That's why number of like the instance I can count. But if I put the head count in the instance variable, so each and every instance will be the different. So you cannot count the object. Like this way, you can also call use the static variable. Hmm? So we have learned a static keyword using the variable, using the methods, and using the static block. Okay, understand or not? Still, do you have any confusion? Then you can knock me after the class. Then, if you don't have any question, then I can start the next topic. There is a final. Okay. The final is like a, sometimes we use the constant. I cannot change. Final is final. This is my final word. It wouldn't be changed. It's called a final word. That means cannot be modified. So the final keyword we can use for three different areas. The number one is variable, and then number two is method, and number three is class. So what is the purpose of the variable? If I put any final keyword in front of variable declaration, that will be a constant. You cannot change the value. Like pi, you cannot change the value of the constant variable. So in Java, if I want to declare any constant variable, just put final. The same keyword, when I use in front of the method, that will be another impact. What impact? The overriding. The last class we discussed the polymorphism in overriding. That is the parent class. We have the same method in the child class. If we put a final in the parent class in front of the method, you cannot override. You cannot use the same name in your child class. Why? Because this you cannot modify. You have to use this final method. That means this is final. You cannot extend. You cannot do override the method. But when I put any keyword like the final keyword in front of class, that will protect you from inheritance. You cannot inherit the class if I put any uh, final keyword in front of class. So now see the example. But before that, I'm giving you how many times? 10 minutes time to go through this. Okay, 10 minutes, okay? Nuri? Because only 15 slide. 10 minutes okay or 15 minutes?
Minutes.
15.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now is 10:40. We're coming 10:55. Okay. Okay. Time is started already. Just go through you just go to the Google Classroom and you will find the slides as well as video links.